This is definitely not normal Minecraft. Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new video series on my channel. Today we are finally back in Minecraft, playing in 1.12.2 with prehistoric nature, fossils and archaeology, and a variety of other mods for this new project that we are working on today. And yes, I am burning down an entire forest behind me, because we are going to need some space for what we're building today. As you have probably gleaned from the footage, we are surrounded by many majestic prehistoric creatures. Unlike most of my videos, however, we won't be talking about dinosaurs that much at all in this series. Sharks. Happy Shark Week, everybody. So, in honor of Shark Week, I've devised a new series where we are going to look at the evolutionary history of sharks, starting from the very first fish and moving on to some crazy wild prehistoric forms. This will consist of plenty of episodes throughout this week, so if you enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. So, honestly, this format's going to be very much inspired by the PaleoCast Gaming Network's videos. So, don't accuse me of ripping you off. These are more detailed, looking at sharks and fish and things like that, which is what the first few of his videos did. But I am going to try to make this unique, different, and give my own spin on all this information. I spent about 3 hours the day before recording this researching the entire evolutionary lineage of sharks and their biological features, and we're going to take a look at all of those throughout this series. So let's get started. Through this beautiful portal is where our journey begins. 518 million years ago, in what scientists call the Cambrian period. Thanks to the prehistoric nature mod, we can explore what these ancient realms look like and discover the life that lived within them. Now, we dive through an ocean so different from today, it might as well be swimming through an alien planet. The Cambrian period is significant because it's life's first big explosion. Well, that's not exactly true. There was the Ediacaran explosion, but for the sake of this video, we're going to start here in the Cambrian period. During this period, we see the first predator-prey relationships that we know of develop along life, with some of the top predators being radiodonts, like this Tomiciocaris, while the reefs and ocean floors are dominated by algae and frondose organisms and sponges. We search along the ocean plain, and shallower it gets, going insane, we still find no trace of life for which to call our own. Here we are, in the estuary at last. Here it is, where we will find the vertebrates of time long past. They coexist here with many strange species of trilobites and strange arthropods and annelids and who knows what else. And here they are. This right here is a school of Haikouichthys. Barely the size of your fingernail, Haikouichthys are the first known vertebrates on our planet, the ancestors of all fish, reptiles, mammals, amphibians, and any other animal you can think of with a backbone. I hope you've enjoyed our brief time in the Cambria, and if you have, I do have 2 more videos about this time period. But alas, this is not what we're focusing on today. We must head back to our own time. This right here is the very first section of our aquarium. I took some time to make some archways. This is going to be called the Visions of the Past exhibit, and it's the first thing that you will walk through as you walk through the aquarium. Again, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to knock off the PaleoCast Gaming Network. He just had a great series idea with a lot of potential, so I'm doing something very similar. Anyways, here on the left side is where we're going to get going with our first exhibit. Now, I've filled out this first little section with a room right here, and as part of these Visions of the Past exhibits, they'll start out with just the fossils. So in this little tiny room, where water drips from the ceiling, representing our earliest ancestral roots in the water, you can look here and see Haikouichthys, the earliest vertebrate, and you can really see the details of its body, that what looks like a very fish-like shape starting to take form, and one of its predators, Anomalocaris. Not necessarily scientifically accurate, they're just supposed to streamline the story a bit, and typically that's what zoos and aquariums do. Alright, and here we go, we have a nice, lovely tank, which just nothing's in it yet. So let's change that. And then right in the middle, put a big stromatolite. If you don't know what stromatolites are, they're colonies of bacterial that create this like mineral structure for themselves that fossilizes over millions of years and creates really cool patterns. And now we put in here our Haikouichthys. And I think that's looking pretty good. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, it's even more beautiful with the sun shining off of it, but that won't be happening when it's all enclosed. Aw, and look at the Sacabambaspis, the little wormy thing. I don't actually know what it is, but it's so cute every time I see it. Across from our Cambrian snapshot of the past is the snapshot of an entirely different time period. In the floor you can see seas which are still almost as alien as the Cambrian, but just that much more similar to what we might see today. You see some pretty harrowing examples. Whoa! Well, I think we're officially here now. Welcome, everybody, to the Ordovician period. We have some work to do, so let's get swimming. Here in the lagoons, just like before, we find ourselves fish. These fish look far more like the fish of the modern day. Here in the Ordovician period, the revolutionary advancement of jaws has not yet come about, like on my Minecraft skin. But without jaws, fish still find a way to survive, filter feeding off of sediment and open water. And these certainly look a lot more like fish than the Haikouichthys did. Here are relatives of a Gyrocassus, some of my favorite prehistoric creatures. Although a Gyrocassus is an arthropod, it's seemingly unrelated to sharks as we think of them. A Gyrocassus is, in fact, the very first giant filter-feeding organism. At about 2 meters long, living in the Ordovician period, a Gyrocassus was one of the largest creatures on Earth, similar to today's whales, and of course, whale sharks. It's for this reason, and bias, that I am going to bring a Gyrocassus back with us. Here in the Ordovician, the very first reefs start to form, at least what we might recognize as reefs, with distinct corals with polyps growing on them, and many trilobites. Similar to the Cambrian period, during the Ordovician period, the ancestors of vertebrates such as us and sharks would be overshadowed by far greater predators. This is the rise of the Eurypterids, gigantic sea scorpions. Still not dominant and still hard to find, but here we find even more of these fish. This right here is Sacabambaspis, which, if you look up a photo online, spelled like this by the way, you may want to gouge your eyes out. Anyways, Sacabambaspis in this mod is a pretty cute, pretty interesting looking little blimp with a tail, and we're going to be taking some of those back with us as well. In my inventory, I have 3 species of fish from the Ordovician period, and some other interesting creatures we can talk about. So let's head back. Now that many of you have seen the Ordovician for the first time, you can really understand what's going on in this little Ordovician space. Alright, yes, here we go. If we go down there, you'll see we have an aquarium right on top. I tried to make it kind of a pagoda looking thing, and this aquarium, obviously we're going to put like a surrounding wall around it so it looks like an actual building, but I'm thinking that somehow you'll be able to get up here and physically walk over the top here and look down. We will have 2 Gyrocassus and maybe an ancient jellyfish or 2. And look at that Ordovician panel above us, it's so cool. Here is a Strapis, the first of our fish. Here is Sacabambaspis, our second fish. Finally, Arandaspis, which we just have a few of in here, is our largest fish. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I am so excited to be working on this new video project where we build ourselves an aquarium showing the entire history of sharks, and by extension, maybe just life on Earth. So if you enjoy my content, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more videos just like this one. The Megalodon awaits.